Almighty God. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good, wonderful Wednesday morning to each and every one of you. How are you on this splucious day? I trust and hope that you had a restful and peaceful Tuesday and you're ready to get Wednesday up and running at home if you don't need to be on the outside. It's the 22nd day of the best month of the year. Happy to have you joining us on Good Morning Grenada, whichever platform you're using this morning. Facebook, YouTube, the website, GBN TV, Classic 105. Those of you on Party Grenada and Go to Fed Facebook pages, bless up and big up your whole selves this morning. We ain't sticking as usual. Let's get into this morning's word of the day. Lies. Hold on, wait, stop, rewind. I have to big up my viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are tuning in from. A spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Now I can get into this morning's word of the day. Let's see what's the word of the day this morning as we go about another wonderful Wednesday in the land of the living. This morning's word of the day is iridescent. Iridescent. It's spelled I-R-I-D-E-S-C-E-N-T. Iridescent. It's an adjective which means displaying a play of lustrous colors like those of the rainbow. Displaying a play of lustrous colors like those of the rainbow. Iridescent is a combination of the ancient Greek word which means rainbow and the Latin inceptive infix SC, which is the process of becoming. In Greek mythology, Iris was the goddess of rainbows and sometimes functioned as a messenger of the gods, serving as a link between the heavens and the mortal realm, similar to the rainbow bridge in Norse mythology. Iris is often considered to derive from the Proto-Indo-European root which means to turn or twist. Iridescent was first recorded in English in the 1790s. That's the word of the day this morning, iridescent. I-R-I-D-E-S-C-E-N-T, an adjective which means displaying a play of lustrous colors like those of the rainbow. An example of the use of the word: it's an iridescent cloud, a phenomenon occurring right in our own atmosphere. Another example of the use of the word: with blonde tendrils, iridescent lips, and an hourglass figure, she radiated power, wisdom, and kindness. The word of the day this morning is iridescent. I-R-I-D-E-S-C-E-N-T. I-R-I-D-E-S-C-E-N-T. An adjective meaning displaying a play of lustrous colors like those of the rainbow. Colorful. Let's put it that way. Colorful. All right, let's see what's the thought of today as we go about this wonderful Wednesday. The thought for today: the 3 C's of life. Choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance or your life will never change. The 3 C's of life. Choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance or your life will never change. The choices we make determine what happens to us, with us, about us, in us, outside of us. The choices we make, but sometimes you have to make a choice to take a chance for change. We get stuck in a rut, we get stuck doing things one way, we get stuck with the way things are going. And we're afraid to take that leap, but sometimes you just have to make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. Take that leap of faith. Make the choice to take a chance for change. Ooh, make a choice to take a chance for change. That's the thought for today. The 3 C's of life: choices, chances, changes. Remember that. All right, in the interest of time, we're going to skip what's celebrated today and get straight to the latest COVID-19 dashboard released by the Ministry of Health last night. What stood out to me more than anything was that between Monday night and Tuesday night, between the release of both dashboards, we recorded 12 COVID-19 related deaths in a span of 24 hours. Monday night's dashboard showed 63 deaths. Last night's dashboard shows 75 deaths. We lost 12 of our very own family members, friends, loved ones. The numbers are startling. So far, we've recorded 75 COVID-19 related deaths, almost 100. 74 of them coming within the last, I think it's about 5 weeks by now. Let's continue to do what we need to stay safe. 143 new COVID-19 cases were recorded as of 9:30 last night. It's a little, considering we've recorded over 300 last weekend to now 143. I like to look at the positive, so I'm hoping, hoping it's on a downward trend. They started, but then they've since stopped showing the amount of tests that they've conducted to see how many positive cases that they've gotten. So that was giving me an idea of if it's going up or down. The times that they gave the amount of tests conducted, it was on a downward trend. But since they've stopped, I'm not sure. But I'm hoping it's on its way down. 143, I think they mentioned it yesterday, coming to think of it in post-cab, that the positivity rate was reducing. So hopefully that's some positives that we're starting to see from our COVID-19 numbers. Nevertheless, we still have 2,260 active cases. 2,251 of them are considered local cases. Overall, we've recorded 4,356 COVID-19 cases since March 2020 to last night. Let's continue to observe the protocols and do what we need to ensure that we're not added to the statistics. Continue to be safe. Your masks, hand sanitizers, soap and water, social distance. Stay home if you don't need to be on the outside. We need to all play our part to get those numbers down, to flatten Grenada's COVID-19 curve. So please, let's continue to take the measures that we need to. The vaccination drives continue. There are pop-up clinics available in various communities, and it also continues at health centers and the National Stadium, as well as the St. Augustine Medical Station every day. So the Stadium Health Center, SAMS, every day, pop-up clinics, different communities on different days. Once I get the latest spots or locations, I will share it with you. In the meantime, let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. Good morning, Grenada, on a wonderful Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
state-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
And as always, we're looking for the positive stories. And tonight, we're looking at what could be a glance at what is hoped to be the light at the end of the tunnel for the Ministry of Health, as more people are coming out to get tested and vaccinated during the No Movement weekends. A slight reduction in positive cases is also being noted. This was announced by health officials today as they gave an update on the COVID-19 situation.
The Ministry of Health has seen an increase in the number of persons coming out to be vaccinated over the past 2 weekends, after rolling out vaccination and COVID testing drive throughout the island on the No Movement weekends in an attempt to flatten the COVID-19 curve in Grenada. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Mayana Charles says the encouraging news shows that the efforts are fruitful.
Over the weekend, we administered 1,390 vaccine doses, which is an increase from the previous weekend, where we administered 507 doses. Now, the overall positivity rate over the weekend, we saw a decline, right? And it is now 18.6%. But this is encouraging, right? And it shows that we are in the right direction, but also, more importantly, it shows that persons have their guard up, right? We see that the messages are getting through to people. You know, more people are coming out here to get vaccinated. More people are wearing their masks and practicing those preventative measures. And this is not a time for us to let our guard down. In fact, this is a time for us to more than ever keep our guards up.
Despite the good news, Dr. Charles says that much more people need to be vaccinated to reach the safe zone with COVID-19. Grenada now has 2,337 active cases, 9 of which are imported and 2,329 are locals. The age of these active cases is between 2 months to 103 years. She also indicated that more than 80% of the active cases are not vaccinated.
As it relates to the vaccination status of the active cases, 85% are not vaccinated, 10% are fully vaccinated, and 5% have received their first dose of either AstraZeneca or Pfizer. Grenada has recorded 63 cumulative deaths, with the 48 occurring in the hospital and the rest in the community. The age of the deceased ranged from 18 to 103, and important to note, 97% of the deaths were not vaccinated.
While the medical practitioner is optimistic that this change can improve, she is calling on those who are not vaccinated to do so as soon as possible. The call for Grenadians to take the available COVID-19 vaccines was also echoed by Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Carol McIntosh.
Vaccination is our major weapon that we have in this COVID-19 pandemic. Vaccination is our major weapon that we have in this COVID-19 pandemic. If we are able to reach the numbers of 70 to 80% of our country, then we've won this war. There are battles, and it may go up and down, but the battles are being fought.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Well, the numbers of COVID-19 related deaths continue to rise daily, with the count at 63 as of Monday. According to health officials, the number is expected to increase further as Grenada hits the peak of the infection. Elderly nursing homes have been hit hard, especially as those with comorbidities are more susceptible to the virus. We get more in this report.
One more death related to COVID-19 has been recorded at the Hilarion home in St. Patrick as of Tuesday. This brings the total to 10, up from 8 reported last Tuesday. The story was first published by a local newspaper as 2 deaths. However, care manager at the home, Gloria Phillips Smith, confirmed to GBN they have 12 deaths in total, 2 of which are not COVID-related. Last week, Catholic Bishop Clyde Harvey confirmed the situation at various homes the Diocese of St. George's is responsible for via a press release. Bishop Harvey later related to GBN the additional steps the church is taking to protect residents and staff.
As a matter of fact, with regard to testing and so on, that is now in place. We have come to an arrangement with the ministry whereby that will be done regularly, and I hope that works, because in the early stages it was very difficult to get a team of St. Patrick's to do what needed to be done. But I think one of the good things that will come out of all of this is that people will realize the urgency of both testing and vaccine.
The Hilarion home has now recorded 2 more deaths within the last week, while no new figures have been confirmed at the Hillview home, which reported 2 COVID-related deaths, and none at the St. Martin's home in Crowshoe. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
We heard Dr. McIntosh stressing the importance of vaccination a short while ago. Well, a Grenadian pastor in New York says he believes strongly in vaccination, and he urged his church members early in the game to get vaccinated. Pastor Martin Scott is originally from Mardi Gras in St. David and also from Carriacou. He now shepherds the Hebron Evangelical Church in Brooklyn, New York. Pastor Scott says despite all the hullabaloo among naysayers, he has seen the benefits of vaccination.
Thank God we didn't have anybody at Hebron Evangelical Church who died of COVID, because very early I told them, I said, you guys get the vaccine, because I'm a very high believer in this vaccine. So I said to them on the pulpit, get the vaccine, and that helped. It helped in a tremendous way.
And some people may tell you that there's separation of church and state, and as such, you should not be using the pulpit for that. What is your response to that?
Well, again, we are not just spirit. We are body, soul, and spirit. And so we have to cater for the whole man. We have to cater for people's needs.
Sad and lonely, 2 of the words being associated with COVID deaths around the world. Moving on this evening, Health Minister Nicholas Steele says financial assistance is available for families who cannot afford to bury their loved ones who died as a result of COVID-19 and have them buried within the stipulated 72-hour period. He also outlined other support mechanisms being implemented for those who've lost their loved ones. We get details in this report.
With the 72 hours allotted time given to families to bury their lost loved ones due to COVID-19, the question asked is what if some families cannot raise the required burial cost within the given time? Minister for Health Nicholas Steele says government has always had a place where grieving families can obtain financial assistance to lay their loved ones to rest.
There's always been, through social development, support for persons who cannot afford to pay for the funerals. There's a strict process in terms of qualification for that, but government always has tried as best as possible to give persons support. That would not change in this period. So those who qualify for that support would be eligible to get that support.
Coming to terms with losing a family or friend is not an easy process, and the new rules surrounding the burial of COVID-19 bodies are not making it easier. As of this week, all COVID-19 burials will either be closed casket or cremation. Only 2 persons are allowed to view the body for identification purposes, far from what was the norm when it comes to saying goodbye. Minister Steele says there is some psychosocial support implemented to help those who are affected.
Yes, that is of great concern to us. We have put certain contingency plans in place and have had these plans for quite some time. But each and every one of our entities, so the police themselves as well, they will have their supportive network. We do for our healthcare. We also have tapped into volunteers abroad who will assist with that counseling to give us that additional, it'll be a surge that exists right now for counseling. So yes, it is there. Whether it is enough or not, time will tell.
The minister was speaking on government's weekly post-cabinet briefing. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Canadian funeral director based in New York is seeing foresight on the part of local funeral directors who recently bought in refrigerated facilities to store bodies amidst a spike in deaths attributed to COVID-19. The sight of the containers may not evoke the best thoughts in one's mind, but according to Mr. David Williams, reality calls for preparation.
If the sight of a refrigerated container spooks you out, you need to start thinking about choices. Grenadian funeral director David Williams, who operates in New York, says the coronavirus pandemic narrows down one's choice. Commenting on the panic setting here after a refrigerated container was sighted close to the compound of the Mongay Mental Hospital, he said,
you have two realities. You have the containers and you have the 72 hours. Which one you're going to choose? So the container is a form of preparation. When we were flooded with bodies last year, when you go from 5 folders weekly to 55 in a week, it's management. Your management mode has to kick in.
Mr. Williams commended the funeral directors in Grenada who acted proactively and brought in the refrigerated facilities and, in other cases, upgraded their capacity. He says in New York, at the start of the pandemic, it was chaotic and Grenada needs to avoid that pitfall.
We were calling the medical examiner, no information. The Department of Health, no information. You quickly realize you have to have refrigeration. You were inundated with calls. You were getting calls. We had to shut the phone down. When you shut the phone down, you can't get to the calls from the answering service at the end of the day because you're finishing 2 and 3 in the morning. So it was a situation you have to quickly address. At least Bailey's new facility may hold 15, but who knows how many you may have next week. You have to be prepared.
Wayne Watts is also a Grenadian funeral director operating out of the tri-state area in New York. He says the worst thing that could happen in a pandemic is a lack of preparedness.
Because in the event that we are experiencing many deaths, then there may not be enough space in the morgue at the hospital to maintain the body for the period of time that is necessary. So by having the container, you're now allotting more space to house your loved one. And it is true, the size of the container is telling us that death is coming, or there will be a lot of number of death coming. But we are in a pandemic, so the possibility does exist. When we faced with the pandemic here in New York City, no one were prepared. The hospital was not prepared. The medical examiner was not prepared.
Funeral director David Williams says even in this frightening and frustrating period, families need to be treated in a gracious manner, and he firmly believes that all will be well once people get past the fright created by the sight of a container.
My funeral home was I had no less than over 70 bodies here on a given period, at a given time. So how do you make preparations for that? We were never prepared for that. So you look into a refrigerated truck, you're trying to preserve their loved ones, not to be disrespectful, but to preserve that loved ones, to hold the body for a longer period. And if they're not able to do such, then you have to bury the body.
Mr. Williams and Mr. Watts were guests on GBN's Beyond the Headlines program on Monday night. For GBN News, Janelle McDonald.
Despite the challenges being faced, officials of the Royal Grenada Police Force say they will continue to effectively enforce the emergency guidelines for yet another 2 weeks as we enter no movement weekends. Inspector Trevor Rodney appeared on GBN's Good Morning Grenada program with host Blossom Alexis Welsh.
With the government's extension of its COVID-19 regulation for another 2 weeks, members of the Royal Grenada Police Force say they are ready to continue enforcing the emergency law stipulated. In an interview with GBN, Inspector attached to the Community Relations Department, Trevor Rodney, indicated that the past 2 weeks were a success. He said the force is already adjusting to the changes made while implementing strategies to curb challenges faced in the previous weeks.
Of course, every time you have an operation, you would have done your postmortem, you must see one or two areas that you want to tighten on, and you must see one or two areas you want to make adjustments. And of course, with the RGPF, we certainly going to look at some areas. As I indicated, we've seen some violations. We're going to be looking much closer in terms of how we monitor those violations.
Rodney says that over the past 2 weeks, the RGPF has seen a great level of public cooperation and assistance towards officers. While this is so, duty officers still had to issue several tickets to those who went contrary to the law.
We issue a number of tickets to persons. The major violations were failing to remain in the place of residence, at your place of residence, and failing to wear the masks and appropriate face coverings. And those areas are concerned. And of course, going forward, we try to be a little tighter in terms of enforcing the law with regard to what we saw. One ticket to be issued for this offense, is a concern. And we had in excess of 50 tickets issued.
The COVID-19 regulations announced by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell on September 4th expires at midnight tonight, September 21st. However, new regulations issued on Monday will see the continuation of restrictions that will end midnight on October 4th. According to Minister for Health Nicholas Steele, there was only one change made to the guidelines.
Save and accept one change, which is the hours that persons are allowed to utilize our beaches and rivers has been extended to 1 p.m. in the day instead of 10. But there are still no movement weekends, the next 2 weekends. The curfew during the week remains the same, 7 to 5, and the no movement weekends start from 5 p.m. on Fridays. Everything else, in essence, is the same as we have experienced in the last 2 weeks. Our team does hope, as well as the cabinet, and I'm sure most, if not all of us as Grenadians, hope that this would be the last 2 weeks that this would be necessary.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
ISA reporters lens captured the Minister of Health Nicholas Steele and the Minister of Civil Aviation Clarice Modeste Cowan at Marin Community Center and Resource in St. Mark. Approximately 95 persons got tested and a number of persons were vaccinated. According to Minister Cowan, quote, "When we work together, we are sure to achieve more. Together we can beat this virus," unquote. We thank our ISA reporter for this submission. Continue to send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
The Islamic community in Grenada says almost all of its members are fully vaccinated. This was one of the points discussed at a joint press conference on Monday, including government officials, religious leaders, and funeral directors. The meeting was called to bring light to measures the government will be implementing to safeguard its citizens against COVID-19 and to announce changes to funeral engagements.
Addressing the media on Monday, Grenada's Islamic Foundation, represented by Musa Jassat and Dr. Fedros Khan, called out religious leaders to recognize the power they have to inform the decisions of people through education.
We did a survey basically of the percentage of people that are vaccinated in our community, and 96.5% of the respondents are actually vaccinated. So when I compare that with the overall vaccination rate in Grenada, I think that should serve as an example of how we as religious leaders or people in the community can basically help the Ministry of Health and the government in making sure that people are taking the vaccines.
As a religious organization, he said they have capitalized on various platforms to achieve this goal and offered these as recommendations to others.
We've been able to leverage the power of social media, WhatsApp mostly, to provide information to people that is authentic. Now, we also had to counter misinformation because I think at the time we are dealing with two different kinds of pandemics. Yes, we're dealing with COVID-19, but at the same time, we're dealing with the pandemic of misinformation.
He said, as a country, we should count our blessings and consider ourselves very fortunate to have had too much time to prepare.
Unfortunately, a lot of us didn't take that road to get vaccinated. I wish we had. So now, after seeing the amount of deaths and the number of hospitalizations and the cases that are rising, I think this should serve as a strong reminder to everyone to actually look for those means that God Almighty has given us.
Christina John, GBN News.
Having the managerial issues clearly identified by government via a report which surrounds the use of tractors for farmland preparation, a motion to resuscitate the program was introduced by the senator representing the agricultural community in Parliament, Roderick Sinclair. Citing the importance of such a program to increasing production, productivity, and effectively utilizing mechanization in agriculture, Senator Sinclair said it warrants a program restart. Gerard Joseph reports.
Noting the previous failures of the land preparation program while operated by government as well as private individuals, Agriculture Senator Roderick Sinclair called for the return of the tractor service for farmers. Senator Sinclair highlighted the effectiveness of this service on the sister island of Carriacou.
And so all we're asking in this motion is for the government to get this service start back. We are not able to buy 10 tractors, but you might be able to buy one. And then you grow, and you also provide training opportunities for other young persons because most of the staff up there also, while they are there, most of them are close to retirement.
Senator Sinclair underscored the importance of food security and increased productivity.
At the end of the day, while that is happening, they say while the grass is growing, the horse or the cow is starving. So we don't want to be starved as citizens because we want food security. We want good land preparation, which could also improve with efficiencies and reduce cost.
In response, leader of government business in the Senate, Simon Steele, said that the government strongly advocates for a thorough review to be completed.
We can't just re-establish something. There have been too many missteps, and we cannot afford to repeat those. And we can't afford to go into this without due consideration, coming up with a third model, unless a thorough review takes place and all of the analysis takes place and there is thorough consultation.
Senator Sinclair accepted an amended version of the motion proposed by government, which included the need for a review and consultation with stakeholders. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
5
lucky customers are enjoying free drinks, free electricity, free fuel, extra cash account, free internet, cable, and data, all for 1 year. Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year big promotion. With just 2 draws remaining, you can be the lucky winner in August and September for property or vehicle insurance for 1 year, free cooking gas for 1 year, and the big free groceries for 1 year. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Sol Gas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carrot Brewery, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling, Grenlick, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year big promotion.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
This is a message from the Ministry of Health. If you or a family member suspect that you may have contracted COVID-19 and are displaying symptoms, please immediately self-isolate at home. This means that you must also avoid all contact with other members of your household. Do not visit hospitals or health centers, as this creates the potential for further spread of the virus, and it puts additional persons at risk when you come into contact with them. Your best course of action is to call the COVID-19 hotline at 458-4787 or 538-4787, or contact your nearest health center or medical station. Once your information has been received, health officials will come to you. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19. This has been a message from the Ministry of Health.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Those of you who are just getting out of bed and just joining us, happy to have you. Better late than never. And those of you who stuck with us from the get-go, thank you so very much for your patience. Let's get into this morning's discussion. I have joining me virtually this morning are two members of the Rastafarian community. I have joining me Bongo Starai and Sister Motaro, and they're here to talk to us about their thoughts on Grenada's current COVID-19 situation, including the issue of vaccination. Good morning to you, and thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Appreciate you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And good morning to the nation.
Thank you very much. So, Bongo Stara, you are a priest of the Nyabingi Order, and Sister Matara, you're priestess of the Nyabingi Order. Right, so just making sure I have it right. So my first question, I thought of this interview primarily because following a news conference earlier this week, and I thought I saw members of other religious organizations, and it occurred to me that I did not see a representative of the Rastafarian community. So I said, you know what, let me reach out to them and get their thoughts on it. So my first question is, were you invited or were you part of a meeting with, whether it be the Ministry of Health or so, to discuss the COVID-19 situation, vaccination in Grenada? Just curious.
No, we have not, because, and as Rastafari has been marginalized, and like we are, like we're not there, but we are there. We are there, and we are the soul of the nation. So we was not invited per usual.
Okay, that's unfortunate. I was just curious about it. Not slighting anybody, not throwing shade. Blossom was just curious. So Bongo Star, let's talk about the current COVID-19 situation, specifically if it is affecting the Rastafarian community. What is the situation with it being such a virus that has reached far and wide? Has it affected the Rastafarian community, whether it be cases or so?
Yeah, affect I&I, but I&I know don't is against the vaccine, because we don't want to take a vaccine that will alter our DNA and all these things, and that information that's coming to INI. So Rastafari globally, INI is Rastafari, not only in Greens, but globally, internationally, looking to all the governments to have an exemption from the vaccine, because we don't want a vaccine that will alter our connection to God.
Okay. Have you reached out to health officials to discuss the vaccine and so as part of an education drive with the community?
No, as you know, we and I Rasta be marginalized. So as you see, they don't invite us and I within the meeting and the consultation that they has. So it does be. But I know as an indigenous people, I keep on educating ourselves, because everything is individual, We have to educate ourselves still, no matter the government doesn't look upon INI. Even though they legalize this thing, doesn't look upon INI, but INI are always the real solid true education.
So how have you been educating yourself, as well as members of your family and the Rastafarian community, about COVID-19 and the vaccines? How have you been doing that?
I'll assure you, we have already been globally. Like every Sunday we have Zoom as we have here. Globally, Rastafari all over the world. So we have been educating ourselves as Rastafari movements and taking one stand. And when you look at the vaccine, we know that definitely the vaccine. We don't want a vaccine that will alter our DNA and to give us because we know it's a vaccine. Yeah, a vaccine is like the antibodies put into your arm.
But the officials have. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we know that the vaccine antibody put in your arm, so you put a disease into you that whenever the great disease comes, that you already have to able to fight it because you have the disease in you. That is vaccinable. We may go with vaccine, we say vaccinable. But this vaccine you're talking about is a different kind. It's a different kind, so I have to take a different approach to it. We know that definitely Rasta is all over the different sector within Grenada and different things like that. So I was taking a stand that there could be exempted from the vaccine. You know, people might look at us saying us today like opposition, but no, it's through education and awareness, you know.
Speaking of education, there have been information that the vaccine does not alter your DNA. So that's why I'm asking about how you're educating yourself and maybe reaching out to health officials to get some more information.
Well, information is there, you know.
So
because we live in a world where it's not of Stone Age, Ice Age, but your time of science and technology and information. But science is good and science is bad. So I the people know how to know whatever and I put into I system.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that's why
everyone have a God-given freedom of thinking, you know, about themselves.
Right. So that's why I'm asking about the education part of it. Even being marginalized, I'm wondering what sources do you get your information from? And even though the health officials may not be reaching out to you, have you ever thought of reaching out to them?
Well, as a show, it's the time of information and science and technology and information. I get an education show and I link up Rastafari internationally, right? Education, we hear what the government's saying and we hear what I'm saying towards the vaccine and everybody must take it. But then I don't want to go and say, take a vaccine. You know what I mean? And I had to have the proper knowledge to know what is the effect of the vaccine. It is a platelet number. It is something, and you know what I mean? I never became a software. You know, so I know how to make sure and so that what I put into an system, and so also, you know, we don't telling people don't take vaccine, don't that. You know, we just have a knowledge. You know, a mutual stand. So what concerning.
So what you're saying is the information that you've gotten so far is really among yourselves, among members of the community here in Grenada, as well as your Rastafarian brothers and sisters internationally. So it's not necessarily from health officials?
Well, yeah, I'm a health official here.
Sorry, say that again?
I said this health official in Grenada.
Yes, or internationally.
All right, internationally, you know, we hear what I'm saying. We see them doing things like, you know, and they're making the move. But I still have to make sure that I keep myself and could have information and communication with God and don't let some, you know, people alter that, you know, because as I say, we know the vaccine. We had malaria, we had measles, and all this thing and that, and it's anti-vaccine. You have it, you get it in the shot. And you have the disease in you to fight. But this one is not so. You know, so that's why we must have to educate ourselves about this job.
Are you
know, and what it, yeah?
Are you open to a discussion with health officials? How can they reach out to you? How can they reach you?
And I always open. We're always open as the open with GBN and other entities and different things like that. Nobody should be marginalized. You know what it is like. So we are always open. We are always open. We're always open. We always make contribution. We give thanks to Grenada, something that does like I, you know, and to contribute back. But being Rastafari, you know, we have been, marginalized. We don't have much stakeholding, you know. And as even within the legalization of the home and the decriminalization, you see how you go. So we as a people just giving thanks and still keeping the food basket, you know, feeling greens.
So feeling marginalized, how are you able to protect yourself, your family from COVID-19 and the rest of the Rastafarian community? How are you able to stay safe?
Well, to staying safe is good. So, and I know everything we hear about go to take the vaccine is good thing. But the things we're not hearing, how to build your immunity, because we know this thing fight against your immune system. So what we as Rastafari doing towards ourselves, we keep building our immunity and reaching out to one another, which is the type of food to build the immunity as Rasta say all the time. eat healthy. Let your food be your medicine. And that's a practice as Rastafari we have, letting our food be our medicine. So therefore we just be apart from diseases, because we keep putting in these foods in our body, in our system, so that when these diseases and them come, they won't reach us. What we see as the world is today is not only in Grenada, the worldwide, the disease is there. You know, we can't ignore it, but we could prevent it by doing the right things, you know. We could prevent it, and everything is like a vaccine. We don't hear them speaking like, let us pray, let us call on the Most High to see how we could heal this thing. The only healing they're looking at is the vaccine, but the vaccine is not only the healing. And we don't even sure that the vaccine is the healing, because at first we heard was the vaccine is for ages reaching the 50 to the 60s, there is the elderly people. Then we hear it could hamper the 20-something years people. Then we hear it on children. So it's something like experience just going on and going on and going on. And every time it's like it's going in a different stage. So to get everybody to be in this, everybody have to be. Also, this thing is just like a one world government, because when everybody is not only Grenada can go against the vaccine, you know, Grenada have to accept the vaccine because it's a worldwide thing. So what happening now? When the world accept it and the world start taking it, everybody just coming like one. Everybody just coming like one. You don't have having none other feelings or other things, because they all have this vaccine, and this vaccine just put them in one region. So we as Rasta, we've been very skeptical, very, very skeptical about it, because we know what it could do to our lives.
So being marginalized, as you've put it, how can people reach out to you to include you, whether it be the Ministry of Health, whether it be government, whether it be residents close to your community? How can they reach out to you to include you more in whether it's discussions or activities? Are you open to that, I should ask?
Yeah, and I are open to that, as even now, and I are open to that. And I have a Rastafari organization for centralization. They could reach us out there, they could reach us out on the Nyabingi order, you know. That's what we do. So it's out there. We open for any discussion.
How can they reach out to you? Do you have a contact number or an address that they can send?
Right. The contact number, I have a contact number for like the Nyabingi house. That's the same number, 410-7300. That you could contact this number. You have another number, 410-1930. We have a next number again, 421-0271. You know? So there is numbers which you could reach out to us at.
And how has being marginalized affected you or the Rastafarian community?
Well, it's real affecting from them time, from the 70s, some of who failed to all them time to now. You know what I mean? Yes, but I know most Rastas now, and I always plant, you know, because I myself is a culture, you know, is an agriculture, a farmer. You know, producing, pull it to mail and everything you talk about for the nation, don't be marginalized. And the sequence now of the marginalization, if we see that as a religious sect, we have not been invited also. So that is the president, you know what I mean? President, whatever you want to call it, of Rastafari in Grenada, right? Right? And Rastafari in Grenada is, as I said already, in all sectors. Walking, Green Lake, Manawa, so that's called. We are there. You know what I mean? Walking and to build a nation, but for no reason, you know, I don't know what is the reason then they keeping a head out, you know. But and is there making valuable contribution to the nation. You know what I mean? So and standing together. You know, and so regardless of what take place, all the ills and things with the Rastafari, and even though he have a reasonably ugly head, by leaving a Rastafari out of the equation, you know, and where I is like the salt. You know, I mean, the flavor of the whole country as well. Don't be marginalized, you know. So because we try to and I always open, you know. Well, yeah, we always open making contribution. You know, we're not under. I'm going under, and I'll make contribution to schools on Black History Month and remove the age and different things. You know, I mean, we are playing our part in those who help to build the country and then have less strength, and we're playing our part in those who are too young to make the contribution. So we're playing our part still. So we're playing big part and players, you know, but we're still being marginalized by keeping out of certain discussion nationally. You know?
What sort of discussions do you hope to have more input in? I mean, Bongo Star, I remember hosting you a few weeks ago on To The Point in relation to the legalization of marijuana. But what other areas are you hoping that the Rastafarian community can share their thoughts on and have more input in?
Well, in all areas, you know, in all areas of well-being of humanity, social, you know what I mean, spiritual, you know, economically, you know, in all sectors, what create and make people and give people better life, you know, and better standard of living, you know. So I could participate in all discussion. You know, I give thanks that I've been participating. Now people could say and I take upon the vaccine, yeah, you know. So in all areas, we don't just be resented, but you know, a good contribution to make.
Do you know of any one of the Rastafarian community, if anybody has been affected by COVID-19 who have gotten the disease, the virus?
Well, yeah, we may have people who get it and slightly, but I just say we eat the right food, so we don't have the immunity, you know, because your immune system have to strong, right? And see that I stand against the vaccine. Then we have formulas whereby I take natural herbs, you know, and things like that to really vomit out the mucus, the poison out of our system, to, you know what I mean? Because the whole thing about is to get the mucus off your body, get the mucus off your system. You don't cause your respiratory, your breathing system to fail. So we have herbs like bitter herbs, like, you know what I mean? We have like natural onion, squeeze it, and you know, I don't want to give certain things because we know how the world is so fragile, you know what I mean? And they like to kill our leaders, but we have different herbs that we take as Rastafari. So you get a slice in some of it, you beat it up with herbs. You know, you beat it up with herbs. We are not taking the vaccine, but we have alternatives as Rastafari, as natural people, you know what I mean, to really save. And I said, but we just still not taking the vaccine and stay aside and just with no defense. No, we are building our defense from them time to now. Eat red, gold, and green food. You know, Grenada is one of the second cities food in the world. You know, food security, Rastafari is, and then nutrition security as well. You know, so we're not taking the vaccine, right? We ask the government to get exemption from it as indigenous people, but then we have alternative whereby we can conquer this 666.
You sound like you've made up your mind not to take the vaccine. Are you even at least a little bit open to a discussion with health officials in relation to the vaccine, or that's it, you're not taking it at all? Sister Motaro, I see you laughing.
Yeah, I'm laughing. We're not against having no reasoning at all. We could be any form of reasoning towards the vaccine. We're not against it. If anybody needs to call us to have a reason about the vaccine, we're not against it. But we are on a spiritual realm and we know what it is about. Because even on the religious side, we do read the scripture and we do see the scripture tell us that the mark of the beast, which I see the vaccine as the mark of the beast, because you got to take that mark. If you don't take that mark, you cannot buy, you cannot sell, you cannot trade, you know. So we know.
I really don't want you to start calling the vaccine market a beast. Please and thanks. Please and thanks. I've heard that discussion, but I really want to stay away from it.
Yes. I understand
right.
clearly.
But do you think that your stance
part of the prophecy? That is part of the prophecy. We cannot run away from it. It's part of the prophecy because it tells us that we're going to see that. And if when I don't go and take that vaccine, I know that certain times I will not be able to go to the bank. I will not be able to go to certain places, supermarkets, and
do you think your stance on the vaccine is probably why health officials have not reached out to you for a discussion? Do you think that they feel like, you know what?
No, they don't know my stand on it at all. We never had no reasoning. We never put out nothing there about the vaccine. We never discouraged nobody not to take the vaccine because this vaccine now is something you personal, you for yourself have to know if you're going for it or not. So I cannot tell nobody don't want to take the vaccine. It is not good. As Rastafari, we among ourselves, we know what it is. We could reason that among ourselves, but we cannot go out there and tell nobody don't take it. People have to feel for themselves and know for themselves what it is, you know. So that's why everything's been education. So even the nation, the country will come out and educate the people a little more on the vaccine, we'll see something different, you know. It all based on education. Because we could see, like the first time when the first set of vaccine was there, people hardly used to go for it, right? But then when people see death and people see destruction, people just keep going to have it, you know. Whether it make them sick or not, they will go for it because they say that's the only way, you know.
Yes, go ahead. No, go ahead, Bongo Star.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that why live out God? Why live out God? You know what I mean? Yeah, because remember in the plagues in Egypt, why live out God? When the brethren pray, he was able to subside the plague. You know what I mean? Why live out God? You know what I mean? So the churches now they should stand firm. Standing firm. I just say like the Catholic woman bishop come and sister and things and people they shut their head, but they have to, you know, you have to have faith. You have to have faith in whom? You have to have faith in God. And now is the time for I, as a religious sect, to really stand firm on the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was God, and manifest and dwell among us. You know, so now is the time for I to really manifest our religious ideas and to stand firm and fight the battle. But now we see that our church has put on the tools and close up. And like the only way for the vaccine, a younger way for mankind now is to put in a job. It's not I already call it a vaccine because vaccine has a different definition. You know, it's their job. So getting inside your system, when you get inside the system, what it is. You know, you alter your naturalness from to think religiously and about God. We don't need that.
So, if I were to, sorry, I lost your video there.
That's it. Yeah.
Just turn back on your camera. But in the meantime, while you try to find the icon, if I were to ask you to take in front, as they say, and contact the health officials yourself, would you do that, or are you waiting for them to contact you?
Well, Pastor, I don't know. Well, I don't know. You know, they don't see I as Rasta. Probably they think, well, you know, I don't know how they're thinking, but we are international. We are an NGO as well, a national, you know, a non-governmental organization. You know what I mean? We have that as well, and we have the church. We have the church, the tabernacle in Montu, and we have it in Calais, and we have it in St. Patrick. We have it in Carrico as well, you know, and we have it internationally. So I know definitely know they know we are there, but then didn't imagine like they don't really categorize you like real people. so hard to speak because I give thanks for this opportunity now to speak into the world and people know what is Rasta take. Because trust me, the people want to know what is Rasta take too as well, you know. So this morning they hear what is Rasta take, you know, and I take is exemption from taking the injection, and not only INI in Grenada as well. We are waiting a letter as well from the international Rastafari community to present to our leaders. You know, so we are working on this together as well as we speak, you know. Don't be resented and be imaginizing Greens. But we are working internationally together with one consensus on these vibes. You know, so we've been educating, we've been researching, because that's what this life is about. You know, and getting the awareness, getting the punctuality, getting the real sense. You know what I mean? I know definitely the art is the Lord and the fullness thereof. You know, so they call I and I for a discussion. We discuss just how we're discussing here. You know what I mean? Open. You know, we prune the dialogue. So like, you know what I mean? We have the word song and power. We know what we're about. You know, we are organized and centralized people. You know, so I guess I pray that they use that instrument of Rastafari in green to, you know what I mean? Because don't forget, when the government gun was not joining a PRA, you know. So we are making a viable contribution all the time. But somebody not seen. You know, and they need to eyes up. You know, they need to eyes up Rastafari and give an rightful place, you know, within the society. We are waiting for the decriminalization as well. Yeah, we still await. But we see like the COVID overriding everything else. You know? But we should work at all fronts as government. Work on all fronts to getting things done. So, you know what I mean? So we pray that they will also give INI a rightful place within the movements of the legalization as well. And INI could be, you know what I mean, have a rightful place as well and don't be marginalized. You know, so it's a lot of marginalization for INI as Rasta. And we contribute so much and still contributing. You know what I mean? I don't know why they can't see INI. You know, why they are seeing. You could come in the country, you could come up in St. Patrick and investigate me. You know, and you will see a true picture of what it is. It's not a double standard. You know, and as I said before, we have an NGO as well. We can be like North as well, and we can be like the Grenada movements. We can turn to a political party. We have that type of instrument as well. You know, so we will organize. So you know, Blossom?
What's next for the Rastafarian community in fighting, keeping safe during this time?
What it is, we keep close together. And I keep sharing right information, certain information for everyone to understand and to understand. We keep on sharing it, and we keep on sharing it internationally, not only in a little space, but in the global space, global reasoning, you know, as Rastafari. And even I as a speak about some. In a little time you see I, a little time you see I not. Because in the global space, we are looking to go forward to Ethiopia to establish the faith there as well. So don't be marginalizing Greens, but then you're going to the top seat of Rastafari in Addis Ababa, Shashamani, we still have to give them the land, to establish that same faith in Grenada here, to establish it in Ethiopia, and to call the world to come forward to Zion. You know? So as I speak, all these things are going as a Rastafari. You know, we have a good place, a good vibes, and you know what I mean. The pandemic has come, but it's given a more strength. You know, and it's the same pandemic because the government to draw closer to Rastafari. You know, I mean, to hear all of our ideas. You know, we give thanks because it brings change, and it's a one world government as well. It's global skin domination. So we know where I stand. We know definitely our brothers in Canada, you can't go to the supermarket yet. You can't go to the supermarket again because you didn't have your COVID card. You know, so we see going and have the understanding of where you reach internationally, you know, as well. You know, so we give thanks that people like Anna, indigenous people, that they must have a place for Anna. We must respect it as a religious sect as well. You know what I mean? And yeah, because all of us, God give them rights and God give them free thinking.
I'd like to thank you for sharing your thoughts on the entire situation, and I would encourage officials in the Ministry of Health to reach out to you with your permission, to reach out to you to have that discussion and further share thoughts and ideas and education in relation to COVID-19, especially the vaccine. So with your permission, I can share?
Yes. Yeah, you can share. Yes, you can share. Because what I need is information, and we need to really hold dialogues. And I know definitely we're not looking for God to come down on the earth to save us. We know we come from a land, we're looking to return to a land. So we have a lot to share, a lot of political ideas, a lot of theoretical ideas, a lot of agriculture science ideas as well. We have a lot, and we don't make a lot of contribution as well. You know, we don't keep no silence. Even in the George Floyd situation, we was there. Because it's for Nyabinghi is a vanguard for anything concerning Africa, you know. So we doesn't only be like in education. We're widespread. We look for justice wherever it is, you know, and support. So we give thanks that you can share people and they can come to I and I can hold a dialogue, honest conversation, an upright conversation, you know. Yeah. So we are there.
I would forward your information. I took down the numbers that you shared, Sister Motaro. I will share it with the Ministry of Health officials, and hopefully they'll reach out to you soon and you can have that discussion and that education session. But I appreciate you both sharing so candidly your thoughts on the entire situation, and hopefully you can be included in conversations moving forward, especially at a national level. So thank you very much for speaking with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for introducing Anna and for asking Anna to come on in. So give enough thanks for that, and it's a blessing.
We give enough thanks because, you know, blessed by neighborhood, in the Greentown internationally, because we are, and I know definitely is a, you know, a small and smart world and within a small space. So we give thanks to all our neighborhood. You know, we have a voice, and all African many people. You have a voice, you have a strength. Just give me a hand. I can pull you out of this breathing space. So give thanks, Blossom. Blessed Lord.
Give thanks, Blossom. You're in my sitting room every night, living room every morning.
Give thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, okay?
Yeah, my best.
Yes,
all right.
Blessed Lord.
Bongo Starai and Sister Motaro, priest and priestess of the Nyabinghi Order, just sharing their thoughts on the Rastafarian community and the COVID-19 situation. I would make it my duty to share their contact information with the Ministry of Health officials so they can definitely meet, have a conversation, an education session, share ideas on various subjects, and hopefully the members of the Rastafarian community would not feel so marginalized going forward and so left out. Let us take a break, and then we're going to come back with more on Good Morning Grenada right here on Classic and GBN.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
This is a message from the Ministry of Health. If you or a family member suspect that you may have contracted COVID-19 and are displaying symptoms, please immediately self-isolate at home. This means that you must also avoid all contact with other members of your household. Do not visit hospitals or health centers, as this creates the potential for further spread of the virus, and it puts additional persons at risk when you come into contact with them. Your best course of action is to call the COVID-19 hotline at 458-4787 or 538-4787, or contact your nearest health center or medical station. Once your information has been received, health officials will come to you. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19. This has been a message from the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. 6.5 minutes on to 8 o'clock. This morning I am not seeing traffic cam. And today's Wednesday? Yes, today's Wednesday. I'm not seeing Junior Checkley, just school media and traffic cam this morning. I am not sure what the issue is, but hopefully we'll be back up and running on Monday, God willing, and we can get an idea of what the traffic is looking like, or hopefully it will be an area view. I love those aerial views of the island. So we are going to end the televised portion of Good Morning Grenada at this point. But just let me say this specifically because of a comment I just saw on YouTube and maybe one comment on Facebook. Because somebody does not share your thoughts and your ideals and your beliefs does not make them clueless, does not make them fools, does not make them any less of a human than you are. Sometimes all it takes is a little education, a little conversation, a meeting of the minds, so that everybody can almost be at the same level, meaning understanding, because it's not everybody, once you share something mean they will gravitate to what you're saying. So again, because somebody does not share your beliefs does not make them clueless. Please try and be a little bit more tolerant, especially in this time of uncertainty where everybody is feeding off of different things, including fake news. We just need to understand what they're saying, where they're coming from, help as much as we can, which is why I'm going to help as best as I can. We can't just sit in ignorance and think that people are not au fait to the same information that we are, which means they are not on our level. That's not how the thing works. Education, 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 consultation, conversation, and tolerance. We need to understand that and accept that. So please try and calm all yourself. I'll start to stress me just a little bit. I like things upset my chest, especially when we feel like I know you don't know, so I better than you. That'll work it out. Be tolerant. Get all your act together. No, it's not the time for this trying to marginalize. Let me use Bongo Star right word. No, it's not the time to marginalize people because they do not share your beliefs. Let's end the televised portion of Good Morning Grenada at this point. Enjoy the rest of your wonderful Wednesday. We are going to join the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast in just about 4 minutes. And coming up at 9, I'm expecting officials of the Ministry of Health for To The Point. I am not exactly sure who will be the guest, but I do know it's somebody from the Ministry of Health, and we can definitely get some of our questions answered then, hopefully. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe, observe the protocols, your masks, wash your hands with soap and water if they're not readily available, hand sanitizer, social distance. Those of you using public transportation, please stay safe. Even if it's one person or 20 in the bus, do what you need to stay as safe as possible. Less talking, no talking at all, a matter of fact, and wear your mask for the entire journey. Please, let's stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Bye.
Despite the struggles and